Hey, I'm Polly. Welcome to the Latino Slant, and we are reviewing episode 7, The Best of Times, season 1 of Promised Land. It drops a new episode every Tuesday, and the new episode just dropped. It is episode 7, and there's, after this, 3 more episodes. This episode is called The Best of Times. The first lines uttered by a younger Joe Sandoval in the 80s as he's learning English is this: these were the best of times, these were the worst of times. Those are the first lines of the Charles Dickens novel Tales, the Tale of Two Cities. And some of those major themes of that novel are in this episode: resurrection and social justice. And first of all, I want to tip my hat off to creator writer Matt Lopez for just uplifting. With each episode, he keeps uplifting the game, the storytelling of this family, the Sandoval family. And that's the first thing I wanted to do. So I was really impressed. Wow, what a fantastic episode. Now, I want to break this down and talk about these two major themes of resurrection in regards to leading off from the last episode, where a body of bones was found on the Sandoval vineyard grounds, and Joe moved it. And so, to the bewilderment of his oldest son, why did he move those? Why did he move the bones? What does he have to hide? So Joe is telling him at the beginning of the episode, I have nothing to hide. I did not murder this person. I can prove it. And basically, they're going to get DNA tests of the bones, and he needs his oldest son's snippet of his hair to test with the DNA results. And I was just like, this is wild. This is like, like I said, this is like old school, just Shakespearean tones here of, dealing with the dead bones and the dead past of, so we thought the past was buried. Joe Sandoval thought, but now, and his oldest son, you got to remember, he's got a little, he's got some vengeance with his father as well. It seems that's kind of calmed down, that there's an understanding and respect. And as Bellamy Young's character, the ex-wife, Margaret, is kind of in the picture. So that idea of resurrection is that's a clear example, right? Dealing with bones, your past, but also too, with a lot of these main characters in this episode, a resurrection of a relationship. Margaret and the oldest daughter, she lets her meet her granddaughter for the first time. They had no relationship. Fantastic. A resurrection maybe of who you are, with the youngest sister trying to find her place in the family. A kind of a resurrection of a forbidden love between Billy and Letty. Because Billy's a priest now, man, and that gets crazy, man. That is fantastic acting. So that is throughout. That is throughout the episode. Now, let me pause and also say that the filmmaking, it's beautiful. I mean, this is like, and let's share a little bit of image here. This is basically a film. This is basically a film. El Mejor de los Tiempos, the best of times. It's lush. It's dynamic. It's big and loud when it has to be. It's quiet when it has to be. There is a little bit of everything in this episode. And from talking to John Ortiz, um, earlier in the last week he was hanging with us. He's saying buckle up because it's gonna get pretty pretty epic by season's end, and that's just 3 episodes away, and it's already just killing it on a visual scale. So the scale of this is fantastic. The writing, the characters. Now there's two timelines, and if you're catching up with this show, there's two timelines going on with the same family. Okay? The timeline of the 80s of this younger versions of the current timeline, the current characters, the older characters with their children, the Sandoval family. So that's they go back and forth, and I think after the first couple episodes, you really get used to it because Matt Lopez, the creator, now it is they're very comfortable in their storytelling. In fact, they're masters at their storytelling, and this is like storytelling of two timelines, which is always tricky. I don't think it necessarily was mastered in the Book of Boba Fett. Here, it's mastered. So that's that. And again, I tip my hat off to the writers and to the directors and all that of this episode. Now, let's talk about social justice in this show. Okay, so another through line in the past and in the present is the working conditions and wages of the farm workers, the actual pickers, the actual workers in this show. And it starts off in the past by showing Letty fainting, and kind of you just get a glimpse of the working conditions. And I got to tell you that, and let me try to find that image here. I have to tell you, it's all very reminiscent of the working conditions and the plight of the United Farm Workers of California. I know that this is a direct connection, that there's a direct connection here with that. So what we got going on here is, in the past, people are fainting. It is like 100 degrees temperature, trying to work in the fields. They go to the owner, Honeycroft. They go to the owner saying that they would like a second water break, and that's a big deal just to ask for that. And that's in the 80s. Here in present time, the labor leaders come and want to negotiate a new contract with the Sandovals and their workers. They're basically saying, you're paying people in your wine tasting room, basically your in-house kind of like out of the field employees, more than your farm workers. So you really get to see where every character stands on that. Some are more practical, like Joe's always practical. Like there's only so much he can do, to have a successful business. And in the past, the Honeycroft, he's kind of more of your old school, like, kind of like, time is money, and you should be lucky you're working, that type of deal. So what I'm getting here is that there's got to be a balance of your dreams and of reality. And those decisions that you make for your business and for your family, it's going to affect you, for the decisions that you make. I really appreciate Matt Lopez touching upon the plight of the farm workers, because I truly believe that the farm workers, their working conditions, we want to say since the 20s, since the 30s, has always been in dispute. So this was a great theme, and again, it's the same thing in Tale of the Two Cities, which I really appreciate Matt Lopez taking us on that journey, connecting us to Dickens and his call for social justice. And this week, I saw a post from the United Farm Workers of a woman, current day farm worker, working in 80 some odd degree temperature. And it just says, she's never stopped working during this time. Here's your working conditions, give her some love. And then I get to see this episode and I was like, man, that's a nice timely reminder that how grateful we need to be to the people that feed us. So there's that going on, right? There's that going on, and everything's very well balanced. Nothing is hit over your head. There's no ham fisting here. This is epic storytelling. Now, so the oldest daughter is in charge of those negotiations. And she invites, I don't know why she invited the union organizer to a party, that their wine tasting party that they were going to have for a younger audience of tastemakers. But he basically humiliates publicly the family, saying, how much is it for this, for this party? At least 200K. You could have used that 200K for to raise a modest wage for your people. He really went for the low blow there, and she didn't appreciate it at all. And that was this whole montage here, this whole party scene montage. What they do really well in every episode is they'll have a scene or a party where all the family shows up, and all their conflicts, everything that they're going through, it's like it all intersects, and you're just like, whoa, this is badass. It all intersects. Now, Letty, by Cecilia Suarez, really her best episode yet. She's got some great lines going on. She's got some great scenery. She still has passion, again, dreamer, and then reality. Reality is Joe. That's her. That's who her day-to-day, love is. But her passion is Billy. But Billy now, and has been, a priest. So there's something there. And and Billy back then was the dreamer. And it's fantastic. I got to tell you, it's fantastic. So they have a wonderful storyline. Billy's trying to reconnect with his son, but because of this intense attraction, at the end of this episode, he decides to skip town, and that he can't. It's just too much of a temptation. So, again, I want to temper this by saying that this is a well balanced drama, from sexiness to action to straight up great acting to a little bit of soap opera-ish type of situations, and then a little bit of touching on subjects of modern subjects within the family. And let me give you an example. This is a good example. The young daughter, she's trying to find her way in the family, in the world. She comes to the dad, Joe Sandoval, early on in the episode, and she's like, "Look, here's a magazine. Here's a story on the top Latinx families doing wine. We're not even in this. Why?" And the dad says, Joe Sandoval, right? He says, "First of all, I don't know what Latinx is, and I don't know what this magazine is." I love it. Because that's how Joe would react. That's fantastic. Now the youngest sister is working on this event and also there's like a little fire burning between her and the lady that she hires. So that'll be interesting. And this is Joe right here getting the DNA results. That's John Ortiz. Man, he's such a boss. He's really owning this role of the lead patriarch of this family, and I absolutely love it. Now there's a plot reveal, a big twist reveal at the end of this, and I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But let's just talk about uh, the sister and this new potential fling
Oh,
who she had hired for the party, but now this woman wants to take her out, and there's a little bit of chemistry right there that I was like, okay, all right. So again, and she's trying to find her way in the family, like I've said before, and every actor is just really on point. So that is my overall review of this episode. It's called The Best of Times. You can catch it on Hulu. A new episode drops every Tuesday. We're going to do a live watch party next week, and I'm going to try to get one of the actors to be with us as a treat because there's two actors who have been on the slant who are in this, and that is my review. I hope you enjoy it. And again, if you have any questions regarding the show, if you want to get caught up, there are 7 episodes. There's 3 left. And I really am charging the Latino and the greater community to get behind this show because ABC is kind of treating it as a stepchild in not a good way. And this show definitely needs to get a second season. So yeah, that is it. Enjoy, everybody. Now, before I leave, I got a few minutes. I want to say hello to K-pop.
come on, yo. Come on, yo. Come on, yo. It's land. Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version.